Genesis chapter 47. And Joseph came to report to Pharaoh, saying, My father and my brothers, and the cattle and their oxen, and all their things, are come from out of the land of Canaan. And behold, they are in the land of Goshen. And from his brothers he took 5 men, and stood them before Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to the brothers of Joseph, What is your work? And they said to Pharaoh, Your servants are shepherds of flocks, even we and our fathers. And they said to Pharaoh, We come to sojourn in the land, for there is not a pasture for the cattle of your servants, for the famine grew in strength in the land of Canaan. Now then, let your servants dwell in the land of Goshen. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, saying, Your father and your brothers have come to you. Behold, the land of Egypt is before you. Settle in the best land, your father and your brothers. Let them dwell in the land of Goshen. And if you should have knowledge that there are among them able men, you place them in charge of my cattle. And Joseph brought in Jacob his father, and stood him before Pharaoh. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to Jacob, How many are the years of days of your life? And Jacob said to Pharaoh, The days of the years of my life which I sojourned are 130 years. Small and severe have become the days of the years of my life. They did not attain to the days of the years of the life of my fathers, which days they sojourned. And Jacob, having blessed Pharaoh, went forth from him. And Joseph settled his father and his brothers, and gave to them a possession in the land of Egypt, in the best land, in the land of Ramesses, as Pharaoh assigned. And Joseph measured out grain to his father, and to his brothers, and to all the house of his father, grain according to person. And there was not grain in all the earth, for the famine grew in strength exceedingly, and the land of Egypt failed, and the land of Canaan, because of the famine. And Joseph brought together all the silver being found in the land of Egypt, and in the land of Canaan, from the grain which they bought. And he measured out grain to them. And Joseph carried in all the silver into the house of Pharaoh. And all the silver dissipated from out of the land of Egypt, and from out of the land of Canaan. And all the Egyptians came to Joseph, saying, Give to us breads. And why should we die before you? For our silver has dissipated. And Joseph said to them, Bring your cattle, and I will give to you breads in exchange for your cattle, if the silver has dissipated. And they led their cattle to Joseph, and Joseph gave to them breads in return for the horses, and for the sheep, and for the oxen, and for the donkeys. And he nourished them with breads in exchange for all of their cattle in that year. And that year went by, and they came to him in the 2nd year, and said to him, Lest at some time we should be obliterated from our master, for since the silver has dissipated, and the possessions, and the cattle to you, the master, and there has not been left behind to us before our master, but only our own body and our land, that then we might not die before you, and the land should be made desolate. You acquire us and our land for breads, and we will be to you and our land servants to Pharaoh. Give us seed that we should sow, and we should live and should not die, and the land shall not be made desolate. And Joseph acquired all the land of the Egyptians to Pharaoh, for the Egyptians gave their land to Pharaoh. For the famine prevailed over them, and the land came to Pharaoh. And the people were reduced to slavery to him as servants from the uttermost parts of the boundaries of Egypt unto the uttermost parts, except the land of the priests only. This Joseph did not acquire. For Pharaoh gave a portion as a gift to the priests, and they ate the portion which Pharaoh gave to them. On account of this, they did not give up their land. And Joseph said to all the Egyptians, Behold, I have acquired you and your land today to Pharaoh. Take to yourselves seed, and sow the land, and there will be produce of it. And you will give the 5th part to Pharaoh, and the 4 parts will be to you yourselves, for seed in the earth, and for food to you, and to all the ones in your houses. And they said, You have delivered us. We found favor before our master, and we will be servants to Pharaoh. And Joseph established it to them as an order until this day, for the land of Egypt, to take a 5th for Pharaoh, except of the land of the priests only, which was not to Pharaoh. And Israel dwelt in the land of Egypt, upon the land of Goshen, and they were heir over it, and they grew, and multiplied exceedingly. And Jacob outlived in the land of Egypt for 17 years. And the days of Jacob's years of his life were 147 years. And the days approached for Israel to die. And he called his son Joseph, and said to him, If I have found favor before you, place your hand upon my thigh, and you will do for me a charity and truth, that is, to not entomb me in Egypt. But I shall be gone to sleep with my fathers. Then you shall lift me from out of Egypt, and entomb me in their burying place. And he said, I will do according to your saying. And he said to him, Swear by an oath to me. And he swore by an oath to him. And Israel did obeisance upon the top of his cane.